flash of white light lit up the sky over Gaza tonight. People running for cover, not knowing whether they're dead or alive. They came with their tanks and their planes, with ravaging fiery flames, and nothing remains, just a voice rising up in the smoky haze. We will not go down in the night without a fight. You can burn up our mosques and our homes and our schools, but our spirit will never die. We will not go down in Gaza tonight.
Well, tonight is a very important event in terms of sending the solidarity from the people of Belfast to the people of Gaza. We're here in the waterworks in North Belfast, and what this event is, what we're going to do is we're going to light candles and put them on the water for the children that have so far lost their lives in the conflict in Gaza. We've actually heard most recently tonight that 10 children have been killed in an airstrike that was targeted at a play park. And I think it's very, very important that ourselves, people on the ground, people gathering here, send a message to the so-called leaders of the world that we will not tolerate our government standing idly by. We recently heard that the Irish Foreign Minister abstained from voting on a motion that was calling for war crimes committed by Israel to be investigated through the UN. The Irish Foreign Minister abstained. That is not representative of the views of the Irish people, which is evident in the number of protests throughout the whole country. Day and daily we're hearing of atrocities being committed by the State of Israel under this so-called notion of they are acting in self-defence. It is not self-defence, particularly when you look at the extremely high amount of civilian casualties, particularly women and children. So we're here tonight to send our solidarity, the people of Ireland's solidarity, to the people of Gaza. We have a number of speakers here tonight from different faiths, from the Catholic Church, from the Protestant faith, indeed from the Muslim community, and also the Jewish faith as well. And we're standing united. This isn't a political issue, it's a humanitarian issue, and we're here to send our solidarity to the people of Gaza.
Well, so it's great to see so many people from North Belfast assembled here tonight. What are you hoping it's going to achieve?
Well, I think if they're anything like me, just being amongst like-minded people, for me it's a safety valve, because I'm so angry and emotional every time I watch TV. So I think it's important that ordinary decent people come out and give voice. I mean, if our politicians aren't going to speak out, ordinary people have got to speak out, because this madness, this criminality has got to stop. And if Israel won't listen to those voices within its own country, then voices outside the country have got to speak up, and we've got to join and add our voices to the Palestinians who are crying out for justice, not just peace, but justice. I just think, you know, our politicians here in Britain, in the US, are just running scared. They just don't seem to have the backbone or the courage to stand up to Israel, and that's where the voices of ordinary people have got to come in and fill that void, fill that vacuum, so that the Palestinians know that they're not on their own. So that's why nights like this are so crucial.
It's great to see people coming out in Belfast and other cities and other countries to show their support and solidarity and sympathy with the children of Gaza, who have been slaughtered indiscriminately by the Israeli killing machine, a country which has the 4th strongest army in the world and the 2nd strongest air force in the world. It's like, while the Palestinians have got only primitive weapons, it's like a fight between Mike Tyson and a child, really. It's very nerve-wracking for me, being a Palestinian and being away. It's very emotional to see these images of dead children on TV. Today we heard in the news about the children in Shati refugee camp, and from contacting people from back home, one of them was carrying his sweet Eid candies in his hand, looking forward to eat it, and he arrived dead in the hospital with his candy still in his hand, holding on it. It's very difficult. I mean, people talk about these people in numbers, just 900, 1,000, 1,050. They are human beings who have stories, who have ambitions and dreams and loved ones. If it's a war and terrorism, which I don't believe it, then why are they bombing schools? Why are they bombing hospitals? Why are they killing ambulances? They killed 7 paramedics. They killed a journalist. They bombed the TV station. All these targets are not terror targets, unless Israel sees every Palestinian as a target. As one of the UN said, a UN official said, if you want to be safe in Gaza, stay away from, don't stand beside the child. This is how bad it is. We've got to keep going in the outside world. We've got to show the Israel that the whole world is standing by the Palestinians, and to tell them to stop. If the governments can't do it, if the governments are not doing it, we got to do. We got to keep going and do the work that the governments don't want to do, and to say to Israel, enough is enough. Enough children being murdered. Enough is enough.
Father Gary, the irony of such a large crowd in solidarity with Gaza in a play park in North Belfast hasn't been lost on anybody?
No, I think what touches the hearts of everybody, is children, and it doesn't matter where it is. And I mean, what I was trying to reflect tonight was that when my Presbyterian colleague spoke, his voice went, and I didn't realise the exact same thing would actually happen to me. And I think that's because of the fact is that in our life and in our ministry, we get called to neonatal units, we get called to the scenes of accidents, we get called to stillbirth and things like that, and nothing seems to kind of touch our heart than that of a child. I at times would rather anoint everybody in a full Crow Park than to go to the scene of a single child. And as I was trying to say tonight, the very first time I was ever with a child that passed away was a little girl who died as a road accident in Enniskillen, Amanda Trimble. And I still picture her eyelashes, I picture her face. In fact, it broke me up so much I couldn't turn my back on the child. I actually reversed out of the cubicle having anointed it. I drove out to our monastery in the country, and I cried the whole way out in the car. And I still carry Amanda, as I do all the other children I've been with and things like that. And if it's hurting a celibate priest as it hurts me tonight, Amanda Trimble, what must it be like that here are these people who somehow try in the most perverse way to justify bombing hospitals, schools, beaches with children playing on, to actually kill children. And these are people that have the most sophisticated weaponry in the world, and then somehow to kind of say this is okay. And as I said tonight, there is no such thing as acceptable collateral damage, and certainly not with children. And it doesn't make any difference what is within the vicinity. Once you have to have the ability to be able to seek out and realise that there are children, families, and I think that what on earth would justify anybody doing this? And then, to expect then the world to be able to look on it without being horrified and without condemning it from the highest mountains.
What should the Irish government be doing about this?
I think, all governments, like in a sense, there is a call for the Dáil to kind of resit again. I know that the Senate is actually doing that, and I think what my kind of thing is like, most of you have got children, you've got grandchildren, in some cases maybe even great-grandchildren. Like in a sense is, what are we known for as a nation? We're known for our compassion. It hasn't been that there hasn't been a single, famine, there hasn't been a single tragedy in the world, there hasn't been a single natural disaster, then the Irish people have rose above it. In Ardoyne, in the time of Haiti, over 16,000 was raised just over one weekend in an area of social deprivation. So the people are giving the lead to their own government. In a sense is, in a situation like this, you have to at least offer the people the ability to debate it and actually highlight the injustices. I mean, that's not to say that in a sense you offer the broadest perspective on all of these kind of things to get there, but where wrong is, then name it as wrong.
Tonight is a quite sad but yet a very poignant event. I'd say close to 500 people turned out. People have been preparing for it for over a week. Tomorrow night there's mobilisation in the market area. On Wednesday night there's mobilisation in West Belfast, so it's not just focused to one area. The people of Belfast has been rallying around and will continue to rally around until just to do as much as they possibly can. I know myself personally, and when I say it, that I'm not the only one who feels that I feel powerless, but I feel it's important to do something. And I suppose I would ask anyone out there who has any human emotion to come on and join us tomorrow night in the market, or indeed on Wednesday night, and any other event which is being organised across the city and indeed across Ireland. Because it's important that people have feet on the street and are sending a very clear, unified and dignified message to the people of Palestine.
Growing calls for the boycott of all Israeli goods, I take it that's something you would support?
Absolutely, and it's only going to work if everyone throws their entire weight behind it. I mean, there's examples such as the apartheid regime in South Africa. It took years and years and years for it to happen. But if people throw their whole weight behind it, it has great potential. I mean, there's a lot of images in social media which is encouraging it, it's popularising it. So speaking on behalf of Sinn Féin Republican youth and as young Republicans, it's important that we clearly lead by example and condemn and withdraw any support for anything. If it's ranging from McDonald's or Marks and Spencer's or Coca-Cola, anything which is popular and used very frequently amongst young people, it's up to us as leaders in our own right amongst our peer group to say no, that's wrong, this is what that means.